Stop whatever else you are doing and listen, not casually, not while distracted. Listen as if your future depends on it, because it does. If you hear this message from start to finish without drifting, and you let these words strike the deepest chambers of your soul, you will walk away believing in yourself in a way that no man, no failure, and no critic could ever undo. This is not mere inspiration. This is instruction. This is not for the faint of heart, nor for the man who seeks a warm blanket of comfort. This is for the man who knows there is something greater inside of him, but has forgotten how to reach it. If you will listen, if you will absorb what I am about to teach you, your belief in yourself will no longer tremble. It will roar. You will not simply feel better. You will walk with decision. You will speak with faith. You will act with certainty. And you will never again seek the world's permission to move. You will have it within yourself, fully, completely, permanently. And mark my words, by the time this message ends, you will not only believe in yourself again, you will wonder how you ever doubted. So much so that I warn you, you may find yourself returning to this very message, day after day, week after week, simply because of the power it unlocks inside you. Do not stop. Do not drift. Do not multitask. Listen with the same attention you would give to your future self standing before you, showing you the way to the life you know you were meant to build. That is who you will hear now. And if you listen until the end, you will never go back to the man you were before this speech began. Let us begin. Part 1. The world will confuse you. Your mind must be clear. If you have ever wondered why success seems to elude you, I shall tell you plainly, it is because you have permitted the world to think for you. And I say this not in anger, but in warning. The world will not believe in you until you believe in yourself. This is the eternal law. Faith in oneself must come first. No external voice can grant you permission to rise. The world is not your compass. It is your confusion. It shouts 1,000 directions at once. It tells you to wait, to conform, to stay safe. It ridicules the bold and flatters the timid. It honors the man who obeys and mocks the one who dares. And if you listen too long, you will no longer hear your own voice. You will no longer remember your own aim. You will drift. From the moment you were born, the voices began. Voices that said what was possible, what was impossible, what was smart, what was foolish. But they did not know you. They did not see the desire in your heart, nor the vision planted deep within your soul. And so I ask, why listen? Why obey voices that never understood your purpose to begin with? Understand this: the majority is never the author of greatness. Conformity builds comfort, but it does not build kingdoms. The crowd builds fences, not fortunes. If you follow the thinking of the world, you will produce the results of the world, average, ordinary, uncertain, and bound by fear. You must rise above it. You must think independently. You were born with a mind of your own, and in that mind lives power the world cannot see, but you must choose to claim it. You become what you believe. You become what you repeat. Your dominant thoughts, when mixed with belief and emotion, become reality. This is not philosophy. It is law. It is the foundation of all riches. If your belief is weak, your results will shrink to meet it. If your thoughts are cloudy, your life will reflect the fog. If your faith wavers, your steps will hesitate. And if your actions are driven by the voices of others, then your destiny belongs to them, not to you. The man who does not own his mind owns nothing, even if he holds much. The man who becomes great becomes deaf to the world, not to ignore wisdom, but to protect his power. He chooses his influences like a jeweler chooses diamonds. He guards his attention as a king guards his crown. He speaks only of what he intends to build, and listens only to that which strengthens belief. He does not share his plans with doubters, nor his fears with cowards. The world will offer you every excuse to remain small. It will say, be realistic. It will whisper, "Who are you to believe such things?" And if you answer that voice, if you begin to entertain its logic, you will sink into mediocrity without even knowing you have left the shore. The drift happens silently. But the awakening must be deliberate. You must now make a decision. Will you listen to the crowd, or will you listen to the command within? That still, divine voice that says you were made for more, that instructs you to rise, to act, to believe. That voice is the voice of infinite intelligence, and it speaks not in noise, but in stillness. If you would hear it, you must silence the world. Every day you live without belief is a day you borrow from a future you could have owned. Every moment spent chasing the world's approval is a step away from your own greatness. But you can return. You can reclaim the throne of your mind. And once you do, no man, no force, no failure can unseat you again. Say aloud now, "I do not need permission to believe in myself." Speak it with force. Speak it until your chest rises. Speak it until you remember. For belief is not a passive emotion. It is a spiritual declaration. When you believe in yourself, the world adjusts. Doors open, paths appear, power awakens. The world bows to the one who walks in certainty. Let the others wait. Let the others discuss, compare, criticize, and fear. You are not here to join their confusion. You are here to build, to command, to act. Your belief must be so strong that even silence bends to your presence. You must be so clear in mind that no outside voice can shake your course. This is the discipline of all successful men. Think now of Charles M. Schwab, once a mere clerk in a steel mill. He did not rise because of credentials or age. He rose because he believed he could lead men and acted accordingly. His clarity of mind, his decisiveness, his self-confidence, these made him powerful in a world that doubted youth. He did not wait to be chosen. He chose himself first. You must now do the same. Choose to believe even while the world sleeps. Choose to walk forward even while others stall. Choose to think your own thoughts even while surrounded by opinion. Your clarity will become your power. Your belief will become your foundation. And your mind, once fully claimed, will build you a life others only dream of. Say this now. I will become what I decide to believe. Write it. Repeat it. Say it in the morning when you rise. Say it at night when doubt returns. Say it when the world speaks, and you must remember who you are. This is how belief is built, not by chance, but by choice, reinforced daily until it becomes unbreakable. The world will always have something to say. It will always have doubt to offer, fear to whisper, rules to impose. But you do not owe the world your obedience. You owe yourself your greatness. And that greatness begins with a single decision: to believe in yourself with total commitment, total clarity, and total defiance of all contradiction. From this moment forward, let your thoughts be your compass. Let your vision be your map. Let your belief be your armor. Walk as if what you seek is already yours. Speak as if the future has already bowed. Think as if no failure could ever hold you. The world will not give you faith, but once you possess it, the world cannot take it away. Now let us begin the rebuilding of belief. Let us drive out every voice that does not serve your vision. Let us establish in the firm stone of your subconscious the truth of who you are. A man of decision, belief, power, and purpose. You are not confused. You are simply untrained. And today, that training begins. Let us move forward. Part 2. No one will rescue you. You must rescue yourself. If you are still waiting to be rescued, I must now tell you the truth that will free you forever. No one is coming. Not your family, not your friends, not your country, not fate. You must rise under your own power, guided by your own thought, driven by your own decision. The moment you stop hoping for a rescue, you will discover that you were the rescuer all along. There is a dangerous belief that has kept millions in poverty, both material and spiritual. The belief that someone else will fix their lives. They wait for fortune, for opportunity, for recognition, for a chance. But chance is not a law. And you cannot build success on what you hope might come. You must build it on what you command to come. I remind you, you have a brain and a mind of your own. Use it and reach your own decisions. This is not suggestion. This is instruction. If you do not begin to think independently, life will think for you. And life, left untrained, will not build you. It will bury you beneath the routines, comforts, and fears of weaker men. You may have been taught that hard work is the secret. That effort alone is the answer. But hard work without definite thought is slavery. You must not merely labor, you must direct your labor with purpose. You must become the commander, not the servant. And the mind that does not direct itself becomes a tool in the hands of circumstances. Do not mistake activity for power. Do not mistake motion for direction. And above all, do not mistake dependency for loyalty. Many wait for the world to tell them when they are ready. They wait for applause, permission, or approval. But the world only applauds the man who acts without waiting. The world follows the one who walks without a master. There is a hidden weakness in hoping for help. It is disguised as optimism, but it is truly a form of mental laziness. It says, someone else will come along. Someone will carry me forward. But no one can carry your desire. No one can think your thoughts. No one can forge your identity. That is your responsibility, and it is your privilege. You must now turn inward. You must look not to hands that may lift you, but to your own soul, which was born to rise. What you need is not more support. What you need is a moment of absolute self-command. One decision made in full belief is more powerful than 1,000 voices of encouragement. You may say, but I have failed before. I say to you, so did Abraham Lincoln. He failed in business, he lost elections, he suffered loss and ridicule, but he did not look for rescue. He decided that he would leave his mark on history, and he walked toward that decision through every storm. His strength was not his success, it was his refusal to surrender the responsibility for his future. Lincoln did not possess more advantages. He possessed more resolve. And you have this power too. If you will stop waiting and start declaring, you must say, I am my own rescue. I carry the power to rise. Say it when you feel weak. Say it when the world ignores you. Say it until your subconscious accepts it as law. You must stop asking, who will help me? And begin asking, who must I become? For when you become the man who commands his world, the world will respond accordingly. It does not favor victims. It favors creators. And you create nothing by pleading. You create by believing, deciding, and acting. Now let us be clear. There is no shame in having stumbled. The shame lies only in refusing to stand up. If you are still breathing, you are still building. If you are still listening, you are still chosen. But you must now act as such. You must conduct yourself not as one who waits, but as one who walks with the full authority of a man on a mission. Every day you wait for someone else to change your life. You delay the life that could already be yours. You forfeit your crown to fear. But the moment you claim full responsibility, a new force begins to move within you. It is called initiative, and it is the spark that ignites greatness. This is not theory. This is the very principle by which empires are built. Think of Andrew Carnegie, a boy with nothing, no wealth, no connections, no advantage. But he had an idea that he could rise through thought and initiative. He did not wait for a rescuer. He became the rescuer, first of himself, then of others. And the world adjusted to match his belief. Let that be you. From this day forward, reject the waiting. Reject the hoping. Reject the idea that your success lies in any hand but your own. Say with me now, I do not expect. I decide. I do not wish. I work. I do not beg. I build. These are the affirmations of a man who is reclaiming his future. There is no man, no book, no voice, not even mine, that can live your life for you. I can instruct you. I can awaken you, but I cannot choose for you. That sacred power belongs only to you. And if you will use it, not tomorrow, not when the conditions feel right, but now, then you will feel a strength you had forgotten was possible. You do not need to know every step. You only need to take the first one in full belief. Then the next step will appear, and the next. This is how the invisible becomes visible, through motion, through obedience to purpose, through action that does not ask for rescue but expects results. Let us affirm again, I am my own rescue. You are not lost. You are not hopeless. You are simply standing at the threshold of decision. And once you cross it, once you walk as if your power is real, the world will begin to bend to meet the man you have chosen to become. Let us now move to the next truth. Part 3, your faith must be greater than your doubt. Faith is the cornerstone of all riches. Without it, thought has no power. Without it, desire has no direction. Without it, action has no force. Faith is the fire that turns vision into substance. And if your belief is small, your results will remain small. But if you can cultivate even a mustard seed of faith, pure, burning, and sustained, the world will yield to you. You were not born with doubt. You were taught it, taught to lower your voice, taught to be realistic, taught to fear being wrong. And now I tell you this, doubt is not intelligence. It is poison. It corrodes the very machinery of success. It paralyzes the will and disguises itself as caution. If you do not burn doubt out of your mind, it will burn the bridge to your greatness. Faith is not passive. Faith is not waiting. Faith is not hoping. Faith is belief with emotion and action fused together. When you act in faith, you are telling your subconscious mind, this is real. This is who I am. This is what we do. And the subconscious, obedient, and tireless will begin to align your reality to match that belief. I remind you again of my words. Faith is the eternal elixir which gives life, power, and action to the impulse of thought. Your ideas mean nothing without faith behind them. Your goals are only dreams until they are infused with conviction. The man who believes halfway receives results halfway. But the man who walks with full faith commands the very forces of nature. Let us look to Thomas Edison, the man who brought light to the darkness, not just through invention, but through indomitable belief. He failed over 10,000 times. Others laughed. Experts doubted. But Edison did not seek their faith. He possessed his own. He acted as if the light was already his. And because he refused to entertain doubt, it became so. Edison did not wonder if the result would come. He decided it must. And that decision, when backed by persistence, forced the universe to comply. This is the true power of faith. It alters reality not by magic, but by law. The law that states, whatever you repeat with emotion, your subconscious mind must accept and your body must obey. Let me be perfectly clear. You do not need the world to believe in you. You need only one believer, yourself. And even if you waver, you can retrain the mind through the sacred method of autosuggestion. This is no trivial exercise. This is the tool by which empires are built. Write down your definite chief aim, not casually, not vaguely, but with precision, clarity, and conviction. Read it aloud to yourself, twice daily, morning and night. Do not whisper, declare it. Let your voice carry the tone of certainty. Let your ears hear your future as if it is already present. Let your soul be reminded that it was always possible. Doubt has no answer for a man who repeats faith until it becomes identity. Say with me now, I speak belief into my soul. Say it again. I repeat until my mind obeys. This is not blind affirmation. It is spiritual law. The mind becomes what it hears most. And if you are not feeding it faith, the world will feed it fear. Do not think for a moment that great men never doubted. They simply refused to let doubt speak louder than belief. When Carnegie built an empire, when Ford revolutionized transportation, when Lincoln held a divided nation together, they did so not with perfect conditions, but with perfect resolve. They believed when it was hardest. Faith must be greater than your fear. Faith must be greater than your failures. Faith must be greater than your facts. The fact may say you are broke, but faith says you are building. The fact may say you are unqualified, but faith says you are becoming. And the man who believes in spite of contradiction will rise above the facts to create new ones. I command you now, let faith rise. Let it speak louder than your excuses. Let it stand taller than your past. Let it drown the voice of hesitation. Let it burn hotter than your doubts. Faith is not what you feel. It is what you choose. And every time you choose to believe, in thought, in word, in action, your reality bends a little more to meet your conviction. Repeat after me. I walk in belief. I act with conviction. I speak as if it is already so. These are not slogans. These are instructions to your subconscious. These are the blueprints of your becoming. When you speak them enough, they will become natural. And when they become natural, they will become your results. There is no failure greater than the man who gave up one repetition too soon. There is no tragedy more common than the man who let doubt win the war before the first true battle. But that will not be you. Not now. Not after this. Because now you know that belief is a decision, and repetition is the weapon that makes it permanent. Edison had no candle brighter than yours. Ford had no mind stronger than yours. Lincoln had no heart braver than yours. What they had was this: a decision to believe and a refusal to let the world's voice override their own. That, my friend, is what you now possess. So I charge you with this. Take your definite chief aim and write it with honor. Stand in front of your mirror morning and night and read it as if your future depends on it, because it does. Read it with faith. Read it until it burns. Read it until your very body begins to move in its direction without question. Do not expect instant fire. Expect sparks, and protect them. Feed them with repetition. Feed them with vision. Feed them with relentless obedience, until one day, without warning, your mind catches flame and you become unstoppable. Now let us affirm once more. I speak belief into my soul. I repeat until my mind obeys. Say it loud. Say it with breath. Say it with life. Say it until the air around you begins to change, because it will. The moment you truly believe, your reality begins to reassemble. Your faith must be greater than your doubt. And now it is. Let us go forward. Part 4, silence the noise. Listen to the inner voice. The world is loud, but wisdom is quiet. Truth is never found in shouting crowds nor in a flood of opinions. It is found in stillness, in discipline, in solitude. And I tell you this because most men fail, not from lack of ability, but because they cannot hear themselves think. Their minds are filled with voices, but none of them their own. You cannot build greatness on noise. You cannot create wealth on confusion. You cannot rise while listening to every opinion around you. The man who listens to all will obey none, and the man who obeys none cannot lead. If you would lead your life, you must first lead your mind. And to lead your mind, you must silence everything else. Do you know why most people never discover who they are? Because they never listen, not truly. They speak, they absorb noise, they parrot the world's thoughts, but they never stop. They never question. They never get quiet enough to hear the one voice that matters, their own, when aligned with purpose, fed by faith, and guided by infinite intelligence. You have heard of infinite intelligence in my writings. It is not some distant power. It is the source of all right ideas. It does not scream. It does not force. It whispers. And it only whispers to the prepared mind, the still mind, the focused mind. If you want to hear its guidance, you must create a space within yourself where it can speak. Understand this. The subconscious mind is like fertile soil. It grows what is planted in it, and it is always listening. But if you allow noise, fear, and the opinions of others to be planted in it, then chaos will grow in place of purpose. You must protect that soil. You must guard the gates of your mind with fierce attention. This is why I teach the principle of controlled attention. It is not just a matter of focus. It is a matter of spiritual survival. You are either building belief or borrowing fear. You are either directing your mind or letting the world do it for you. And every hour you fail to protect your thoughts is an hour you train your mind to drift. Drifting is the greatest enemy of success. I said it plainly in Outwitting the Devil. The man who drifts is not evil, he is simply undirected. And the man who is undirected becomes easy prey to every influence, every trend, every lie. He lives in reaction. He loses his voice. He becomes a slave to the loudest message in the room. But that will not be you, because now you will choose silence, not weakness, not isolation, strategic silence, focused solitude, disciplined reflection. Every day you must carve out time to sit alone with your thoughts. No noise, no input, no distraction. Only your desire, your aim, and your belief. When you do this, you begin to awaken the voice within, the voice of truth. And that voice, once it becomes strong, will drown out the world without needing to raise its tone. It will say, "This is who you are. This is where you are going. This is what must be done." And when that voice becomes the only one you obey, success becomes inevitable. Let us affirm together, I do not drift. I listen to the voice within. Speak it calmly. Speak it clearly. Let the world fade for a moment. Let the noise fall to the floor. In this silence, you reclaim your power. In this stillness, you become more than a man. You become a builder of destiny. Think now of Henry David Thoreau, who said, "Most men lead lives of quiet desperation." He saw what I now reveal. The man who does not stop to hear himself is lost, no matter his title or wealth. But you are not desperate. You are deliberate. You are no longer running from noise. You are running toward truth. Let me give you the discipline. Every morning, before the world can touch you, sit in silence. Read your definite chief aim. Close your eyes. Visualize it. Speak your affirmations, not to impress, but to program. Then listen, not with your ears, but with your awareness. Ask, what must I become today to move toward this aim? Do this without fail for 30 days, and you will feel the noise weaken. You will feel your own thoughts rise in authority. You will begin to sense that you are no longer following the world. The world is beginning to follow you. This is not arrogance. This is the natural effect of mental discipline. Say it again. I do not drift. I listen to the voice within. Say it every time doubt rises. Say it when you feel overwhelmed. Say it when others speak louder than you. Because when you say it enough, it becomes true. The subconscious mind does not judge. It obeys. And it will follow whatever command is repeated most. Let me remind you of the men who lived this way. Carnegie, who in silence designed the greatest steel empire. Ford, who visualized cars on every street long before the world believed. Lincoln, who carried the weight of a nation and still made room in his mind for peace. These men protected their thoughts like treasure. You must do the same. I give you now this exercise. Each day, withdraw from the noise. 5 minutes, 10, whatever you can, no distraction, just your aim, your belief, your thoughts. Speak nothing to the world during this time. Speak only to your inner voice. And listen, truly listen. What you hear there will guide you with more precision than the loudest advisor. There is wisdom in the silence. There is strength in stillness. There is gold in your own mind, but you will not mine it if you never stop moving. If you do not listen, you cannot lead. If you do not hear your own soul, how will you command others to follow? How will you build? How will you remain firm when the storm comes? It is easy to be distracted, easy to consume, easy to let the world fill your mind, but that ease has a cost, and the cost is your vision. The cost is your identity. The cost is your power. But silence, though difficult at first, has a reward. And that reward is self-mastery. That reward is clarity. That reward is the voice of infinite intelligence itself. Repeat this affirmation with me now. In silence, I grow stronger. In stillness, I receive instruction. In obedience to purpose, I act. This is your daily reminder that you do not need the noise to build your future. You only need belief, vision, repetition, and discipline of thought. From this point forward, let others chase opinions. Let others seek attention. Let others fill their minds with clutter. You will rise in silence. You will walk with purpose. You will listen only to the voice that speaks truth, not noise. And in doing so, you will become a man the world cannot ignore. Let us now move forward into greater power. Part 5. Rebuild the person you were before the world lied to you. There was a time when you knew who you were, before the failures, before the ridicule, before the voices told you to be smaller, quieter, more realistic. You dreamed without shame. You imagined boldly. You believed. And then slowly, without announcement, the world lied to you. It told you to stop. And like so many others, you listened. But I have come to tell you this. The world was wrong. You are not limited. You are not unworthy. You are not too late. You are only untrained. And training begins with truth. The truth is this. You are the builder of your identity, not the byproduct of your environment. You are the master sculptor of your destiny, not the material waiting to be shaped by others. You were not made to beg for confidence. You were made to command it. You were not created to seek permission to be great. You were created to decide to be great. The blueprint of greatness is already within you, but it must be uncovered, cleansed of falsehood, and reinforced with daily action, thought, and belief. Rebuilding yourself is not an event. It is a process. And that process begins the moment you stop identifying with what others told you. They said you weren't smart enough, experienced enough, strong enough. But they did not see what burns in you now. They did not see the hunger, the fire, the will. They saw your past, not your power. Say it now. I now rebuild the man I was meant to be. Say it until the sound rings true. You are not broken. You are buried. Buried under expectations, labels, and other people's fears. And now, by decision, by effort, by daily repetition, you shall uncover the gold that was always there. The world lies in layers. Each failure tries to paint you a new identity. Each rejection adds a doubt. Each setback is offered as proof that you are not enough. But you must now reject these false conclusions. What happened to you is not who you are. What others believe is not your blueprint. You were designed for triumph, but you must claim the design. I taught the self-confidence formula for this very reason. It is not meant to be read, it is meant to be lived. It begins with a decision. I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, continuous action toward its attainment. This is how the new self begins, by demanding action, not wishing for change. Do not wait to feel confident. Act until confidence obeys. Do not wait for self-belief to land on your shoulder like a dove. You must speak it into existence. You must walk, speak, and move as the man you intend to become, even before you feel like him. And by repetition, you will become him. Let us look to F.W. Woolworth, a man laughed out of offices, told repeatedly he was foolish, mocked for believing that ordinary men would buy goods at a fixed price. But he believed in himself with unshakable clarity, and because he believed, he acted. And because he acted, the world eventually believed as well. Woolworth did not borrow belief. He created it, he rehearsed it, he lived it, and so must you. Say it again. I now rebuild the man I was meant to be. Not someday, now not maybe, certainly. You are not starting from scratch. You are returning to the truth the world tried to make you forget. Repetition is your chisel. Vision is your blueprint. Action is your cement. These three, repeated daily, build identity. Repetition plus vision plus action equals identity. If you want to become a new man, you must first speak as him. then see as him, then move as him. And soon the subconscious will accept it as natural law. This is not theory. This is law. The subconscious mind does not argue. It does not analyze. It does not question. It accepts whatever is repeated with emotion and decision. If you tell it you are weak, it will find ways to make you weaker. If you tell it you are a builder, it will begin to build through you. You decide the material. Let us now speak the affirmations of self-rebuilding. Say them aloud. Say them slowly. Say them with spirit. I was not made for weakness. I was not born to doubt. I am what I decide to become. Each day I rebuild with purpose, not by chance. If the world calls you a failure, let it. If your past whispers shame, let it. But do not answer. You are not obligated to agree with voices that never built anything. You owe the world no explanation for your decision to rise. Your life is your proof. Your action is your declaration. Your belief is your sword. The man you are meant to become is not found in books or applause or permission. He is found in the mirror when you finally say, "This is who I am now." And when that statement is reinforced every day through the spoken word, the written aim, and the disciplined act, the new self emerges with unstoppable force. Think now of Woodrow Wilson. Once a quiet professor no one expected to lead, but he saw something different. He believed something greater. And because he carried that identity before the world confirmed it, the world eventually had to. This is the law. The world reflects what the individual projects with conviction. You must project now. Speak the new self into the atmosphere. Affirm it into your lungs. Breathe it into your bloodstream. Let your walk reflect the man you are building. Let your voice carry the tone of someone who no longer asks but expects. Let your presence become so aligned with belief that doubt finds no room to rest. And if you falter, you return. And if you forget, you repeat. And if the world mocks, you ignore. Because you are not building for them. You are building for the future. The man who rebuilds himself does not need applause. He needs accuracy. And accuracy begins by speaking only that which supports your vision. Let us close this part by saying together one final time, I now rebuild the man I was meant to be. I am not what they said, I am what I decide. My repetition is my transformation. Now let us move forward with purpose into the next phase of your rebuilding. Part 6, you are not weak, you've been distracted. You have been told that you lack discipline, that you are lazy, that you do not want it badly enough. I am here to burn that lie. You are not weak. You are not lazy. You are distracted. That is all. And distraction, unlike weakness, can be destroyed by decision. It is not your nature that has failed you. It is your focus that has been stolen. The world today is filled with noise designed to rob you of clarity. It offers you urgency, but no direction. It pushes you to respond, but never to reflect. And if you are not ruthless in protecting your mind, your most precious tool becomes dull, split between too many things, pulled by 1,000 invisible ropes you never consented to tie. You do not need more motivation. You need control of attention. That is the key. In every man of achievement, Carnegie, Ford, Rockefeller, Edison, you will find this common trait. The ability to think upon one thing and one thing only until that thing is done. Not multitasking, not seeking entertainment, but holding attention like a sword, unmoved until it cuts through. Let me remind you of Henry Ford. They called him obsessed. They said his ideas were simple-minded. But while others scattered their thoughts, Ford fixed his mind on one aim, to produce a motor car for the masses. He did not waver. He did not check the world's opinion. He focused, and because of that focus, he created an empire. What the world calls obsession, I call consecrated attention. And you must now develop it. You must refuse to be divided. You must destroy the idea that you must know everything, be everywhere, respond to everyone. You are not obligated to obey distraction. You are commanded to build. And building requires focus. Say this now. I direct my thought. I do not drift. Speak it again, louder. Feel the power of that decision, because it is a decision. The man who drifts never meant to drift. He simply failed to decide where his mind would go. But the man who decides, truly decides, where to place his attention becomes unstoppable. Distraction is a thief. It steals your time, your clarity, your power. It whispers, "This is urgent," while robbing you of what is important. And the longer you obey it, the more it rewires your mind to chase noise instead of depth. But just as a body can be trained, so too can the mind. And you must now become its trainer. Do not ask, how do I stop being distracted? Ask instead, what is worthy of my attention? For when a man is pulled toward a definite aim, distraction loses its power. When you truly desire something, when it burns within you, you will silence the world to pursue it. That is the mark of a definite man. Let us now commit to daily attention training. Each morning, write your definite chief aim. Speak it aloud, visualize it, and for the next hour, only that aim. Every time your attention wavers, return. Every time noise rises, return. Every time doubt creeps in, return. Train the mind until it obeys without question, and in the evening, reflect. Did you direct your attention, or did you allow it to drift? If you drifted, forgive yourself, but do not excuse it. Record it, confront it, and return to training. Because the world belongs not to the brilliant, but to the focused, not to the overwhelmed, but to the deliberate. Affirm now, I am disciplined in mind. I do not chase noise. I train my attention to build my destiny. This is how great men live. They do not concern themselves with the opinions of 100 men. They build with the thought of one, held firm and clear in the mind until it becomes form. Do not let the world train you to be mediocre. It will fill your day with empty tasks, shallow pleasures, and low thinking if you let it. But if you will rise each day with a definite intention, repeat that intention until it governs your mind, and act only in alignment with that vision, you will begin to build a mind the world cannot shake. You are not weak. Say it again. I am not weak, I have simply been distracted, and today I take my power back. When you reclaim your attention, you reclaim your life, for nothing moves without thought. No wealth is made, no invention born, no victory won without the full force of attention brought to bear on a single definite purpose. Let me be clear, you do not need more time. You need fewer distractions. You do not need more talent. You need tighter focus. You do not need more advice. You need more obedience to your own purpose. That is what separates the man who builds from the man who waits. Do you know why most men fail? Not because they lack the will to begin, but because their attention has been so splintered, they no longer remember what they are building. And when a man forgets his purpose, he becomes prey to every trend, every critic, and every doubt. But the man who returns to his purpose daily becomes unbreakable. Let me now give you the weapon, controlled attention. Use it each day. Defend it like a fortress. Practice it like an art. Study the thoughts you permit. Eliminate what does not serve. And over time, your thoughts will obey you like trained soldiers. This is how self-mastery begins. Not with power, but with precision. So let us say together, I direct my thought, I do not drift. I am disciplined in mind. I return to purpose daily. My attention serves only one master, my definite chief aim. These are not words, they are weapons. Use them daily, repeatedly, until your mind becomes a servant of your destiny, and no voice, no screen, no interruption can pull you from your path. Let us move forward now with greater control into the realm of infinite power. Part 7. Your mind is the gateway to infinite power. The world has taught you to rely only on what can be seen, touched, measured. But I am here to show you a deeper law, a spiritual law, one that does not operate by the senses, but by the mind's inner authority. Your success, your wealth, your transformation, all of it will rise not from what is outside, but from what is already within you. Your mind is not a mere container of thoughts. It is the gateway to infinite intelligence, the unseen force that surrounds you, waits on your call, and responds to the exact degree that your belief becomes definite. When your mind is aligned with purpose, when your belief is fused with emotion, when your desire is repeated with faith, there is no limit to what may be done through you. I told you plainly in Think and Grow Rich. The subconscious mind is the connecting link between the finite mind of man and infinite intelligence. This is no poetic sentence. This is mechanical truth. You are not a separate being. You are a transmitter. You broadcast your belief, and life echoes back results that match the signal. But this signal must be clear, consistent, and charged with emotion. If your thoughts waver, the signal is lost. If your belief is half-hearted, the message is scrambled. If your emotions contradict your aim, the subconscious becomes confused. And infinite intelligence remains silent. It does not respond to doubt. It obeys definiteness. Let me now give you the formula. Emotion plus thought plus repetition equals spiritual transmutation. This is the process by which invisible belief becomes visible result. Do not wait for a sign. You are the sign. Do not beg the universe for a miracle. You are the miracle, if you would only believe long enough, deeply enough, and act powerfully enough. Consider Mahatma Gandhi. He had no army, no wealth, no political office, but he had one power that surpassed all others. He believed with such intensity, such spiritual certainty, that he became the embodiment of a movement. Millions followed him not because of what he owned, but because his belief was impossible to resist. He became a spiritual magnet. What Gandhi proved is what I teach. The man whose mind is aligned with infinite intelligence does not need worldly credentials. He needs only conviction. He needs repetition. He needs emotion. He needs vision. And once the subconscious accepts the message, nothing in the world can stand in the way of its fulfillment. Say this now. I train my mind. I direct my power. My mind is the link to the power that cannot fail. You are no longer the victim of moods. You are no longer tossed by winds of doubt. You are now the master of the mechanism, the operator of the power station. And if you will train that mechanism, every desire properly aligned must become reality. You cannot think one way and believe another. You cannot desire boldly and speak fearfully. You must be consistent. You must speak what you intend. Think what you desire. Feel what you are building. Your mind is always listening. The subconscious is always recording. And it never forgets what is said with emotion. Do not let the world pollute your channel. Do not allow critics, news, or gossip to break your connection to infinite intelligence. Withdraw each day into solitude. Speak your chief aim aloud. Affirm your belief, visualize its completion, and feel it as real. This is not fantasy. It is spiritual engineering. And what happens when doubt arises? You repeat your belief. When fear stirs, you speak your aim. When fatigue presses in, you rise and act as if the goal were already yours. This is the habit of faith. This is the way of those who are no longer swayed by the senses, but live by inner authority. Let us remember, your subconscious mind cannot reject a command that is repeated with faith and emotion long enough. It will build, it will shape, it will open doors, it will nudge circumstances, and if you will persist, it will even override the so-called facts. For faith is not blind, it is the seeing of the unseen. You are not waiting on power. Power is waiting on you. You are not empty. You are untapped. The only thing required is belief without retreat. decision without delay, affirmation without contradiction. And through that path, you will awaken a force within you greater than you have ever known. Say again now, my mind is the gateway to infinite power. I think in harmony with my chief aim. I do not waver, I do not drift, I do not delay. I believe, and therefore I receive. You are becoming more than a man of flesh. You are becoming a man of thought, a man of belief, a man whose very mental discipline is a command to the universe. Others may speak louder, but they do not think deeper, and the world is shaped not by noise, but by mental direction. From this point forward, you are not alone. Infinite intelligence walks with the man who walks with definiteness. It does not favor the crowd, it favors the committed. And your mind is the altar on which that commitment is forged. Keep it pure, keep it focused, keep it trained, and your power shall be unlimited. Let us now move toward the final phase of this speech. Your new identity is not a possibility, it is a certainty. If you obey the laws you have now learned. Part 8. Build the identity that cannot be broken. The greatest work you will ever do is the rebuilding of yourself, not as the world sees you, not as others define you, but as you have decided you must be. This is the final law. The world cannot break what it did not build. If you construct yourself with vision, with repetition, and with decision, then no opinion, no failure, no voice can undo the man you have become. Let us be precise. Identity is not something you are born with. Identity is constructed. It is formed by what you say, what you think, and what you act upon, day after day. If you speak weakness, you will feel weak. If you think defeat, you will begin to retreat. But if you speak strength, if you think victory, and if you act with belief, then no force in this world can shatter that foundation. You are not rebuilding self-esteem. You are building a spiritual identity, rooted in principle, reinforced by faith, sustained by purpose. This identity does not depend on validation. It does not shift with the opinions of men. It does not crumble under pressure. It grows stronger when tested. It grows clearer under fire. And it grows unshakable through repetition. Repeat this now. I am built on purpose, not permission. Say it again. I am not what I feel. I am what I decide. These are not words. These are bricks. Each time you affirm the truth of who you have chosen to become, you are building the walls of a mind that cannot be invaded. Think now of Woodrow Wilson, a quiet professor with no wealth, no legacy, and no advantage. But he made a decision. He would lead. Long before the world knew his name, he knew his own name. He saw himself not as he was, but as he would be. And he walked in that identity with such certainty that the world had to recognize him. That is what you must do now. Walk as the man you have decided to become. Speak as him. Think as him. Move as him. Dress, sit, rise, and labor as if the goal were already fulfilled. For when the subconscious mind accepts this identity, the body follows, the circumstances obey, and life itself reorganizes to make it so. The principle is known as cosmic habit force, the law by which repeated thought and behavior become fixed. Once a habit is established, it moves without resistance. If you make success your habit, thinking it, feeling it, affirming it, then success will become as natural to you as breathing. It will no longer be effort, it will be identity. But identity is not forged in a moment. It is built in silence, in repetition, in daily declaration. Each day you wake, you must repeat your aim. Each night you sleep, you must review your victories. Each time doubt rises, you must answer it not with panic, but with posture. This is who I am now. Let me give you the final command. Write who you intend to be. Read it every morning and night, not when you feel like it, not when it's convenient, every day without fail. Speak it aloud. Let your ears hear the truth. Let your body feel the rhythm. Let your subconscious accept the words until it no longer questions them, until they become law. This is not for the weak. This is not for those who seek applause. This is for the man who is ready to rise with no audience, to build with no applause, to speak with no echo, until the echo returns, louder than ever, because the world cannot deny the man who refuses to be denied. You are now that man, and if you are not yet, then you are on the path to becoming him, and that alone is enough, so long as you persist. So long as you do not look back, so long as you return each day to the inner altar and recommit to the new self. Let us now affirm, I am what I have decided to become. I act as if nothing is impossible, because nothing is when I believe. I do not need the world's permission. I have already chosen myself. You are no longer seeking belief. You are practicing it. You are no longer drifting. You are directing. You are no longer wishing. You are working. And every step you take in obedience to your definite chief aim is building a new man, a man so certain, so disciplined, so spiritually rooted that no force may bend him. The world may scream. Let it. You now whisper to yourself a greater truth each day until your voice becomes stronger than theirs, until your thoughts become deeper than their doubts, until your belief becomes brighter than their logic, until your life becomes the proof that what you believed was always possible. You have listened to this message not as entertainment, but as instruction. You have walked with me through every law, every principle, every command. Now the time for listening is over. Now is the time to act. Write your aim, speak it daily, discipline your mind, rebuild your identity, and live as if the outcome is already yours. This is the end of the speech, but it is the beginning of your transformation. Listen to this again, not once, but until belief becomes your nature, until every word becomes your command, until every sentence becomes your identity, until you no longer need to hear this again because you have become it. And now say it with me one last time. I believe, I act, I am. Nothing is impossible.